Hey guys, Uncle Ray, welcome to another episode of the Crypto Bellwether. I don't always tell you what you want to hear, but I tell you what you need to hear to make informed decisions. Guys, I take investing very, very serious. And when someone tells you something that is factual or mathematically proven, that's not FUD. And even if you have FUD on one of my tokens that I own, please bring it to me. Spit it out. Hopefully it has some merit, but I'll figure that out. I'll do my research. And one thing I see in crypto is just misinformation. And a lot of people just don't get it. And guys, anyone can start a channel. But when you look at, no matter how smart they sound, when you do some research or if you have a financial background like I do, you start to realize just how stupid they sound. Now, I'm not here to rag on influencers, but I'm here to give you some information so that you won't wreck yourself and you can see the big picture in crypto. Now, I used to work for Bear Stearns. We were a competitor against Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan. I've been behind the scenes, and since day one, I have said that the governments, primarily the US government, the central banks and Wall Street will pick winners and losers, and it's playing out every single day. I could go on for hours proving this point, but hopefully you'll do some research and talk to some true investors that maybe have been around a little longer, maybe a little older, a little more worldly. But guys, the people that are dominating crypto right now, you've never heard of, like FIS Global, right? Players like that, IBM and Consensus and JP Morgan and Visa. Those are the big dominant players in crypto, just to name a few. Now, I'm going to rant a little bit, but guys, this rant will not only make you a lot more money, it will definitely save you a lot of money over time. So hit that like button. Let's dive into it. Just let me rant. It's going to be a lot of alpha about tokenized real world assets. And guys, that narrative is going to be hot, and it's probably even going to be hotter in the preceding bull run, because in the future, everything will be tokenized. Your house, your boat, your car, your insurance policy, your driver's license, your health records, everything will be tokenized. Anyway, let's dive into it. Did I say hit that like button? All right. Now, when I first got into crypto, I fell for a lot of the misinformation, like the banking reset. All the world is going to run on XRP rails and all that stupid information. Well, as I dug, I came across the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. Now, the way I came across that was I found out that JP Morgan was basically behind MetaMask, or Consensus was, and they sold it to JP Morgan or vice versa. I don't remember, but I was like, what? Well, anyway, as I started researching MetaMask and JP Morgan and Consensus, I came across the Ethereum Enterprise Alliance. And quite frankly, it broke my heart. It bursted the bubble of that decentralized utopia. And I really thought before that the Vitaliks of the world were going to be the new Jamie Dimons and the Larry Finks of the world. I really believe that like IPOs on the stock market were going to go away and ICOs were going to take its place. Man, I can't even believe I was that naive. And even for a matter of hours, days, weeks, or months, or whatever it was. Anyway, hear me out. Now, think about this, guys. It doesn't matter what me and you think. One thing I hate more than anything are Ethereum gas fees. But you know who doesn't hate Ethereum gas fees? Wall Street, BlackRock, JP Morgan, the people that build on Ethereum. Why? Because they make money off running nodes. They stake Ethereum. They make money. They could care less about the gas fees. And not only that, you have layer twos that take care of that for the big players. So when people tell you that Ethereum is junk and that Ethereum has no future and best tech is going to win, like a lot of ICP influencers starting to harp on, even as bad as the XRP army, well, don't believe them, guys. And I'm going to prove that to you the best I can without you going to work on Wall Street and seeing behind the scene like I did. Now, I got to give a shout out to Paul Barron. His channel was great. He's a wealth of information. Well, I don't know where this came from, but basically one of the money managers for BlackRock was doing an interview. And I want you to hear what he has to say. You don't have to believe me, guys, but be careful who you listen to and find some people that are knowledgeable and that actually understand how the world works. Because here's some reality. Whether you want to hear it or not, I'm going to give it to you. Listen in, guys.
We also recently learned that BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, got into the asset tokenization race, creating a fund on the Ethereum network. So
now,
what
this
is
guy
that
is a manager for BlackRock.
I think something that we've expected for a long time, which is that as money comes into this crypto and blockchain ecosystem, if you want a crypto asset, you will buy Bitcoin. But if you want a tokenized digital asset, you will buy those on the Ethereum platform. Even if it's not a cryptocurrency, if it's a real world asset, gold, oil, you name it, it's going to be on the Ethereum ecosystem. There are always better platforms. Technology keeps moving along. However, what happens is we tend to pick a platform that's widely adopted and it gets a lot of momentum. And we see that in computing platforms all the time. Windows is the world's desktop operating system. IBM has a dominant share, is the 100% share of the mainframe business. Ethereum is, if you think of Ethereum as a computing platform, this idea that we would have a single dominant platform makes a lot of sense. There's quite a few challengers to Ethereum, but Ethereum itself now contains more than 40 layer 2 networks. So the real competitive action, the real innovation is now happening inside the Ethereum ecosystem, not in competition with it.
See, guys, that's one thing I have been trying to explain to people, especially like in the XRP army. And I know I hype on XRP army a lot, but that is the most informed blockchain out there. The influencers don't have a clue and they flat out lie. But now hear me out, guys, because this is really, really important. When he said we, he's not talking about me and you. He's talking about BlackRock and Wall Street and the legacy banks and the governments, the people that matter. If everyone that ever watched my channel put all of our money together, it would not, and bought a crypto, it would not even be close to the first allocation of, say, a BlackRock into that token, right? They're going to put, 5 billion to get the ball rolling, 50 billion, 500 billion. They'll end up putting $1 trillion probably in the next 10 years into crypto. We do not matter. No one cares what you think or what I think. So if you don't like the Ethereum gas fees, so what? If you think something else is better tech, so what? It's irrelevant. Tech doesn't matter. That is just a small percent of what matters. Like, I'll give you an example, guys. XLM, XRP, ICP, they brag about how great their tech is and how the whole world's going to run on their rails. I hear that all the time. Good luck. Because let's talk again about the Ethereum Enterprise Alliance. Now, he mentioned IBM. They're part of Ethereum Enterprise Alliance. Now, think about this, guys. IBM is basically a consultant, just like Accenture, and they're a member as well. They have all the customers. JP Morgan, even though they are basically a bank, a brokerage house, they're like a consulting firm. That's why they are going to pick the winners and losers. They already have the assets and the customers. So IBM, Accenture, JP Morgan go around the world and people go, hey, what's this new technology? Whether they want to do cross-border payments or they want to build out a metaverse, those three entities are going to lead the majority of the world to where they want them to go, which is Ethereum. Now, the biggest players in all of crypto, and he mentions this in another video, the same guy on this podcast, is the biggest players in crypto are the private corporations building out private blockchains. That's the future, guys. In probably 10 to 15 years, 98% of all these tokens are going to disappear. And unfortunately, I don't like it, but you're going to see Wall Street, the legacy banks, and the governments totally dominate the flow of money, DeFi, the metaverse, even gaming. You're going to see Sony. I don't know who the big gamers, Web 2 gaming companies are, but they're going to roll into Web 3 and they're going to take it over. So whether you like it or not, you need to understand that. Now, why am I harping on this so much? Because real world assets is a big narrative, and it's not going away. It's going to be big in this bull run, but I think it's going to be even bigger, like I said earlier, in the next bull run. But a lot of people are going to tell you, oh, well, David Schwartz for XRP said that they were moving into tokenized assets. XLM, tokenized assets. So what? Guys, there might be 10 or 20 tokens out there that are moving into tokenized assets, and they may pump. I'm not going to try to talk you out of them because a sexy story and speculation is what we're really looking at. But I'm talking big picture, like someone thinking about holding a token past the bull run. Guys, 10 years from now, trust me when I tell you, most of these tokens are going to be gone. And the XRPs of the world are not going to dominate. And they're probably, if they're still around, to be sitting at 20 cents doing whatever it is they do. Because Wall Street has not adopted XRP. The banks have not adopted XRP, and they're not going to. No one's going to own a token that is volatile. Why would they need to? There's stable coins, there's Bitcoin, there's Ethereum, and they already own those tokens. Anyway, I'm getting a little sidetracked. But here's what my point is, guys. No matter what project you dive into, which we're going to talk about 3 at the end of this video here in a minute. But no matter which project you are thinking about buying for tokenized assets, just remember, they're probably not the one that is going to be the dominant player. Now, they may pump and they may outperform the ones I'm going to talk about. But the reason that's so important for you to understand is when this bull run's over, those are going to collapse. Period. 98% of most tokens are going to collapse. Period. So my point about that is understand what you're investing in. It's speculation. It's a sexy story. But in the big picture, Wall Street and those boys are going to pick the tokenized winners because they have the assets, guys. Think about it. Where's all the money, right? You're going to tokenize a high-rise in New York City? Well, that'd be Wall Street. It's probably JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs customers, right? You see how that works? The banks, they have access to all the real estate around the world. When those assets gets tokenized, it's going to be through the banks on the rails that they want, etc., etc. Now, Blackrock just had that big, $2 billion tokenized allocation, whatever it was. Well, they did that on Ondo Finance. Now, I'm not going to spend much money, but guys, go to Ondo Finance, surf around, look at their partnerships, right? I mean, look at this. Backed by Founders Fund, Coinbase, Pantera, some of the biggest players out there. Blackrock, PIMCO. Guys, they pick winners and losers. No matter what we think. We might think something's cheaper, faster, whatever. No one cares. Now, so Ondo and obviously Ethereum. So we're not really going to talk about Ethereum, but Ethereum is a great play, guys. I think Ethereum has a lot of room to run. And a lot of people think that Ethereum will end up bigger than Bitcoin when it's all said and done. I am not in that camp, but I might be in the camp that the ETF for Ethereum might end up being bigger. I don't know. Time will tell. All right. Now, HBAR. HBAR doesn't get a lot of coverage, and I can't prove this because the information is not out there, and it would take too long even if it was for me to find it. But when it comes to real world asset tokenization, I believe HBAR might be leading the way. They have tokenized like 500 billion tons of carbon credits already. And you have companies like Aberdeen, who has tokenized, they're a hedge fund or whatever they are. Aberdeen has already tokenized their money market fund. And they were one of the first people to do that. Now, one thing about HBAR that people don't understand is it's building out a whole different kind of ecosystem. You know, we know about the governing board and some of the biggest players in the world and what they're doing on HBAR. Well, guys, it's kind of on the down low, like developers. When you talk about who has the most developers, yeah, HBAR is like in the top 5, I believe. But guys, you don't have the developers with like IBM and Aberdeen and Accenture and some of the biggest players in the world that are part of their governing body that are building out on HBAR, who have a lot of developers. No one knows, but that's going to come to market. Anyway, I know I'm getting on my high horse, but to conclude this, guys, just understand no matter what project is launched, if it is not adopted and backed by Wall Street, the legacy banks, and the governments, primarily the U.S. government, it's probably not going to be the dominant player. Doesn't even remotely have a chance in the long run. And once you understand that, you will not buy tokens like XRP and ICP and XLM and hold them past this bull run. Now, do with that information as you will. But I really want to stress, guys, follow the money. And the money is not on Twitter. The money is not on this channel. I don't move markets. And even the big players that you see with maybe 1 million followers, yeah, they can move a market for a month, 2 months, maybe throughout this bull run, some of the smaller tokens. But what they think or what they like is irrelevant, guys. It doesn't matter. I'm going to say this one more time. I'm going to let you go. This is true as I can't even stress it enough. The legacy banks, the governments, primarily the U.S. government and Wall Street, are going to pick winners and losers. They're going to dominate. And the biggest players in crypto haven't came out yet. There's multiple billion-dollar corporations building out their blockchains privately right now. And when it's all said and done, out of the, 100,000 tokens out there, probably 99,000 of them are going to disappear. And maybe when it's all said and done, we have 100. I don't know. We might even have 10. Don't think that's true? Do some research of the .com bubble. Back then, guys, it was almost exactly like what we're seeing in crypto. Crypto's on steroids compared to that, but you had hundreds, if not thousands, of companies, .coms coming out, doing IPOs, exploding on Wall Street, and literally, guys, it was over. It literally seemed like overnight. That being said, what came out of that was Microsoft and Google and heck, I can't even think of all the Amazon, major players like that. That's what's going to happen in crypto. And you can see who has a chance. And it's the ones getting adopted with the three entities I talked about. So guys, no matter how cheap it is, how fast it is, how sexy that story is, if they're not linked to Ethereum and Wall Street, they probably don't have much of a future. And yes, there are a few exceptions, and I believe personally HBAR is one of them. How many layer ones do you think we need, guys? We don't need many. You got Bitcoin for banks and banking the unbanked. You're going to have the Bitcoin ecosystem explode as an alternative to Ethereum. And we're already seeing that and seeing some money managers talk about like stacks. But so you got the Bitcoin ecosystem, Ethereum and Ethereum ecosystem, HBAR and the HBAR ecosystem. Guys, we really don't need much else. Anyway, I know I'm rambling. That's all I got for you. Let me know what you think in the comment section. But guys, I'm not even going to acknowledge the petty hate comments from like the ICP and the XRP, people, because guys, they're just misinformed. And if you're one of those, hey, do some research, come back, hit me with some facts, prove me wrong. I'll be glad to do a video and correct my thoughts. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for you. Hit that like button, and no matter what, come back and be part of this community. And remember, if you don't take profits, you'll become the profits. Take care, guys.